Hello, hello, hello. FIFA Club World Cup podcast coming at you, as always, with myself, Gary Striker, and we have the return of the man with the heart and the fingers, the Qooligan.
Oh, Qooligan. It's so good to be back.
It's back. You're back. You were missed yesterday. I know you were traveling cross country.
Can tell you, I would have much rather been on the mic than on a plane, dodging thunderstorms all across the country.
Yes, it sounded like an arduous journey.
Thank you, all of you air traffic controllers. Your ATC people are amazing. Weather sucks, but so
yeah, it does. Well, we've certainly can see that as well. Yes, we were discussing yesterday with Manu from the Gegenpressing podcast as well. As always, guys, this is now episode 12. This is our 12th episode.
Got a full dozen.
Yeah, and finally there is a little bit of a respite and a little bit of a breather as well, because we're finally going to be completing the group phases. We were saying as well,
games tomorrow. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. It will be a nice day off just to sort of relax and not have to just to get back into it. And then the playoff stuff happens as well, where it gets a little bit more intense, competitive, exciting.
I don't know what you're talking about, day off. I got to start working all the coverage on the women's Euros.
Oh my God, it's endless. And then there's the Gold Cup. And there's the Gold Cup.
Women's Euros kicks off on the 1st. I'm like, oh my God, I'm behind.
And there's the Gold Cup as well. And then also as well, I saw the MLS
Gold
picked
Cup,
up again this week.
No offense, but the Gold Cup is
it's a who cares cup.
It's a nothing burger. But have you seen the brackets in the Women's World Cup? Oh, it is going to be on like Donkey Kong. It is spicy.
Wow. Okay.
That Group D. Oh, terrifying.
Camera issues. Oh, lost my camera. There we go. Lost it.
You know what's funny? I just got one of those Medicaid alert things for you, Gary. We got one of those, because you're wearing one of those things. I've fallen and I can't get up.
Is that what it is? Oh my God. There we go. All right, let's get that little technical issue as well. Okay, so we are.
Yes, your fall detector just triggered all kinds of alarms.
There we go. That's it. So we are episode 12. Obviously, for anyone listening and watching on DAZN, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere else you get your podcast, please feel free to like, subscribe, follow us, hooligan-soccer.com. You can catch all of the Qooligans' writings and ramblings as well about not only the Club World Cup, but it seems like the Women's Euros coming up as well. Plus, we've also got a whole bunch of other contributors as well. And of course, it's this
big investigation coming into multi-club ownership, ladies and gentlemen.
Exciting
digging
stuff.
A lot into that.
Exciting stuff. So
that's a dirty little world. Let me tell you.
Okay. Well, especially as a Crystal Palace fan as well. You say with Leon and Crystal Palace. But anyway, let's focus on
we're a part of that multiverse, like many big clubs. And so
it is part of it.
It's interesting to see how that's shaping up.
Wonderful. Well, I hope it all gets resolved. And
I'm also going to go out on a limb for all of you people who are listening. I'm going to put a challenge. I have a challenge for all of you. Tell one person that you either love or hate, because it could go either way. To like and listen and subscribe to us.
That would be Hey, that's a good challenge. Tell one person.
It could be the greatest gift or the greatest revenge.
Our metrics and analytics could skyrocket like that, or they could just go flat today as well. We'll see. I like that one, Qooligan. I like that one. Okay, so let's get back to the matter at hand. So this is the final episode of the group stages of the Club World Cup, and again, it's been, I think by episode sort of day 8, we sort of kind of hit the wall a little bit of like, it's just been a lot of soccer always on. All the TVs in the house have been on with DAZN streaming the games everywhere, everything all at once and highlights. It's been wonderful and magnificent. I think, just looking back on the group phases itself and the tournament, I think I would say it's been very, very enjoyable, very challenging. Teams have been competitive, trying and pushing. I know there have been, I know there are some gripes a little bit about sort of, not having sort of electric lightning rods on top of certain stadiums that, so that's causing weather delays and stuff like that. But that gets...
No. I don't know. Okay. Let me just say this. Electric lightning rods on the top of stadiums does not prevent somebody from getting struck by lightning. Okay, let's disavow.
It's not possible. Well, I think it is also just weather and the humid weather.
Their lightning doesn't affect airplanes, and yet they stop and they close airports because of thunderstorms. And there's reasons for that, because of ground crew. Because the ground crew still have to be outdoors and exposed, surrounded by lots of metal that's highly conductive.
There we go.
Right.
Okay.
And no, it's lightning doesn't do what you think it's going to do. It is not a predictable beast.
Humid weather in the US, particularly in the summer months as well. That is there.
There's a very simple way to avoid weather delays, and that's don't put soccer tournaments
in the summer
on the East Coast and the South in the summertime. And I'm not lying. It's that
would be one way to avoid it, wouldn't it? It would, absolutely, but it's not. I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I don't think that's going to happen either. But there it is.
Let's get into the games as we were discussing. So yesterday we had obviously the final round of games for, I believe it was Group E.
Group F played early. Group E played the later segment.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, so we covered that yesterday, and then obviously the Group B was the evening set of fixtures. So we had Ura Red Diamonds against Monterey. 4-0. This was 3 quick goals, 3 quick wonder goals in 9 minutes, and then a 4th goal in the sort of extra time as well, putting Monterey comfortably in second place and putting them through, which was.
It was a shock and awe. It was a shock and awe strike. Every single one of those goals came from 30 plus yards out.
Yeah.
And I'll be perfectly blunt. I saw the goals. I saw the recaps. In between flights, and I said to myself, wow, these are either amazing bangers or the Urawa keeper wasn't very good. And I think it was a little bit of both.
I think both things,
because there were some that first goal in particular, I'm not going to lie, that was a wicked curve. There was a wicked curve on that ball, but it was well within the keeper's reach. And I get that he's moving his body for the predictability of the curve, and then the damn thing swerved the other way. But still, my goodness.
It was an absolute screamer.
Are you feeling all right? You got the dropsies.
I'm having technical issues. I'm knocking over microphones. Cameras are wobbling as well. I can see, yes, but no, we're back. We're back in an operation.
And now you seem to have shrunk by about 6 inches, and that's okay.
There's fear if I do move everything, it will readjust.
No. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Because I like to look at your virtual book. I like to look at your virtual bookshelf and
look down at me. Yes.
Another contest for all of our readers out there. I would love for you to submit the best titles for Gary's virtual bookshelf. The ruder, the better. Please send them over to hello@Qooligan-sports.com. And bring us your most offensive book titles that are sitting on the back of Gary's shelf, please.
Yeah. One book I did order was that new that one, the Sanctioned, the one about what's his name, Roman Abramovich, and how he did that interview with that journalist about how he sort of purchased Chelsea and all the stuff that went through it. I did all of that, and that will be a read, which would be interesting.
Okay.
That is not on the virtual bookshelf, but yes,
so are we a book club now, or are we a soccer podcast? Let's get back. Honestly, admittedly, it was a soccer book, so that was on point. It was on point.
We've just been discussing beer, we've been discussing grass, and all other things as well around the beautiful game as well. So yes. Anyway,
beer's life. So
beer is life, indeed. So let's So Monterey, I think, that game was pretty sort of convincing. They destroyed as well.
That was a destruction.
That was. Now, speaking of destruction, River Plate and Inter, this game yesterday or last night. Again, I don't know if you did see it or if it, because you were traveling, you got to catch the highlights as well. However,
I saw the first 20 minutes of the second half, and then caught up with the highlights later. But just from watching the first 20 minutes of the second half. I could tell that even though it was a 0-0 scoreline, Inter was going to win. I turned off my phone into airplane mode because I follow FAA instructions, and just did that with the absolute surety that they were going to win that game.
Yeah. And well, what's interesting is the first half was actually quite an even contest. It was quite tense and quite tight. And both of those teams, again, they knew that if they got a win, they were guaranteed to go through. And obviously if there was a loss, there was a risk that they were going to go out. However, Inter came out in the second half and suddenly just turned up the juice, and all of a sudden just were like the Inter of that sort of Champions League final.
I think somebody went into the locker room at halftime and told him, and there was a little bit of Italian face slapping going on there. They're going, yo, hey, hello,
wake
up. Monterey have 3 goals.
Yeah.
And right now they're going to take a spot. And even though in the event of a tie, Inter held the, Inter held the tiebreak on that.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yes.
On goal differential. However,
yeah,
that's not good enough. That's not good enough for them. And they took that to heart. And I think River Plate just sipped some mate and then got loco, because
it was that classic Argentinian towards the end, once they went one goal down, and then all of a sudden you could just see the difference in class as well. Inter were really all over them and absolutely running the show. And I have to say, and then, I mean, towards the end as well. And then who was it? Was it Acuna? Was it who got sort of like, I don't know if you saw this. Acuna and Dumfries started going at each other. There was a red card from, Quarter as well. Yeah. Lucas Martinez Quarter on 66 minutes as well. He got redded. And then there was another as well. So they had 2 players sent off. It just got to that point.
Well, the red card was an obvious one. There was no denying that was a red card.
I don't think there was any doubt it was red card. It was just almost inevitable that once River went down as well, suddenly that sort of like Argentinian temperament would suddenly come out in spades all of a sudden. And they were just...
No, I heard that Dumfries and Acuna were going after each other. And then Dumfries started running down the tunnel and was going, "Yo, come, bring it. We're going to go off camera."
Apparently,
settle this.
Lip readers said, Dumfries said in Spanish, "Let's go to the tunnel where there's no cameras and finish." And they both, on parallel, were running towards the tunnel, and the team had to grab them.
I know. I'm just like, wow. That is.
That was. It reminds me in the last World Cup, Argentina against Holland. If you remember it all kicking off with that whole Vote Weghorst, and I think it was Messi kicking the ball into the.
That was the one kicking when he kicked the ball into the.
Do you remember that as well?
It
was the same. It was the same. It was maybe leftovers from that sort of 2 years ago.
And let's not forget
that was it. Yeah,
Dumfries is a South American.
He's Dutch Guyana. He's Guyana. Is that right?
Suriname.
Suriname. Sorry,
Suriname is the forgotten part of South America, and they get feisty.
Produced a lot of very good footballers, the Suriname region as well. Edgar Davids and Clarence Seedorf as well. Big fans of those guys as well. Absolutely. But no, Dumfries. But Dumfries and Acuna going at it. That was again for the neutral. It was pure entertainment. I was watching it with my 8-year-old son, and he's like, "Daddy, what are they doing?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. This seems really strange." But yeah,
it's called beef. It's called beef, son. And someone's about to get served a big old serving of it. And,
someone's going to get slapped. Yeah, someone's going to get some ojo de bife from Argentinian style, right? So they were going for it. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if they managed to get to their afters. But it does mean that River Plate go out.
No, they're out.
They get sent home as well.
And I'm going to say this right now, rightly so. They were, hands down, they were the most disappointing team that I saw at this tournament.
They did not impress me.
I am 100%, committed to that statement.
Yeah, they
have good talent. I'm not saying that they were the least talented team. There are other groups of teams that showed up. But I mean, Auckland got their ass kicked and fought and struggled and scored and managed to get a point. And I know River got a point, but still, that's a team with too much history and too much quality. And it's like they weren't there. They weren't there.
Argentinian teams, both Argentinian teams.
And if they had gone through, it would have been a travesty.
Well,
you had teams like Mamelodi who, fine, maybe they couldn't defend so good, but at least they were attacking and vibrant and exciting, right?
Yeah.
Not to mention good line dancers. They had a fantastic line dance.
They had the line dancing was entertainment. The cultural cocktail that this tournament has sort of brought up and served has been magical to see. It really has.
Yeah, and it's a shame that it's just gonna become a pale European lager.
Well,
that was a good. Hey, I brought beer and soccer together.
Come on,
toss me a bone.
At the expense of lager. I mean, come on, let's not. Lager is holy water as well. We will not be. Diluting
Pilsner's holy water. Lager's crap. All right, let's just.
It would be
while we're on
be a podcast again as well. Yes. Anyway,
please, lager lovers and lager louts don't come after me for that statement. But yeah, no. I mean, we have no African team, right? Qualified.
Yeah, just looking at the standings as well.
And we won't know until tonight, but there is a chance that an Asian Confederation team could make it because Al Hilal can pull a Monterey.
They can do, can't
If
they?
they win and there is a winner in the other game, they will qualify. So they have everything in the world to play for. And Al Hilal hasn't been bad.
Yeah.
They haven't been great.
Yes.
But I think they have enough. I think they've got enough steel plus just enough style to be able to nick up 3 points and maybe squeak their way in.
They would. Looking into that game this evening, I agree with you actually as well. And again, you'd expect Real to sort of run over Salzburg as well now that they've sort of got that.
You'd expect it.
You expect it, but again, nothing is guaranteed in this, right? So we
but
do
Pachuca
have those games.
Have nothing to. Pachuca aren't going to roll over, right? That's not their style. But I think Al Hilal can do it, and let's hope. Pachuca just haven't been very good.
Yeah,
but let's hope that Al Hilal can make it and at least put a touch of difference into this. Put a touch of difference into this instead of making it a two confederation battle.
I think it would be good to see Al Hilal, but again, I mean, then obviously just looking at the sort of the brackets and the way it sort of shapes out as well, right? I mean, obviously we saw that, Man City smashed Juventus 5-2. I think it was as well.
Correct me if I'm wrong. They're the only team to actually have won all three group games.
They've won all 3 points and won all their money as well. Yes, that you're exactly right.
I mean,
it's the only team. Yep.
What a fascinating thing to see in this tournament. With all of the big clubs that came in, that's the only one that won all three?
Yeah, that's true. Yep. Even looking through the groups, that is very true, right? PSG, you'd expect them to have run through everyone as well, but
no, they didn't do it either.
As well. They didn't do it. No, exactly. No. Benfica surprisingly had more points, had the joint second most points of 7 points. Flamenco as well.
Benfica has more points than Bayern, more points than Paris Saint-Germain.
That is correct.
More points than Palmeiras. Right? That's more points than Chelsea. Sorry, had to. That's crackers. Absolute crackers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've got some sound issues, but I'm coming back in, and there we go. Yep, I'm back. Benfica had more points than Bayern. Sorry, I lost you for a second there. Yes. And then also just looking through it as well. Inter obviously sort of going through, Dortmund getting through, City, and then even if Real win, they'll 7 points. So it does just go to show, which is really impressive, that just to see that Man City are looking at. It's how do you think about these brackets and how they're shaping up now, Qooligan?
I haven't seen them. Sorry, trying to find them.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's round of 16 brackets. Obviously, the games kick off on Saturday, so now it kind of is shaping up. Obviously, Man City are waiting for.
I'm looking right now in my calendar. We have what? First one up is Palmeiras Botafogo, huh?
Yeah, that Brazilian classic, which will be absolutely entertaining to see.
I'm so disappointed to see that, though. I want to see more interconfederation battles and not teams that play each other 5 times a year.
That is true. That is true.
I find that really disappointing.
But that's the luck of the draw, and also when you have 4 Brazilian teams
it's not planned,
and when you have 4 Brazilian teams and they're finishing first and second, and obviously all of them going through, there is that inevitability that it is going to happen. I am looking forward to seeing. Yeah, so looking through, just if we look through the brackets, obviously Palmeiras against Botafogo. I think this one's a really tight one to call. Hey, I don't know who I'd expect to see. I haven't been too impressed by Palmeiras, to be perfectly honest. I think Estevao is a little bit overrated.
Botafogo's been better, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would probably lean on that one a little bit, yes.
I mean, but it's Igor Jesus versus Estevao. Right now, Igor Jesus is winning that battle by a long shot.
Yeah,
Estevao is going to have to show up, but
Estevao is going to have to show up and actually score a goal, and despite his 2 superior player of the tournament, 2 player of the matches as well, right? Yeah, which has been, I think, I agree, it's been underwhelming. And then you have Benfica Chelsea. We're going to have, we'll be back on Saturday, and we'll try and get Michael from
be a good one.
The corner one. That will be a tight one as well. Again, depending on what type of Chelsea you get, will determine the outcome of that game. I have to say, it will be interesting to see, because if
I don't know, what do you think? Nicholas Jackson for the start, huh?
Well, no, he's suspended, thankfully.
Is he still suspended?
Okay. Yeah, thank goodness.
So it goes. Never mind.
There's a chance. Yeah, there is a chance. So no, he'll be suspended. And then you've got Inter Fluminense, looking through on those Monday fixtures, Inter Fluminense, you'd expect Inter to go through, and then you're going to have Man City probably playing whoever comes second in that other group, which you'd expect would be Al Hilal, assuming they beat Pachuca and RB Salzburg.
I don't know. I mean, I got to tell you something. If it is indeed a Man City versus Al Hilal, that is going to be one.
It's another Petro Cup, isn't it?
That's going to be an absolute shellacking.
Yeah, that's going to be another Petro Cup. Yeah, they will absolutely destroy them as well. I saw Al Hilal against Real Madrid, and again, I think the problem that Al Hilal have is they can get into the final third. It's just that sort of clinicalness and finishing and heading and sort of putting the ball at the back, and that's going to be their big problem. So yeah, then you got on Sunday, it's going to be a good set of fixtures. PSG against Miami. Now that's
fascinating
fixture.
Fascinating.
Juicy fixture.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Juicy fixture.
Don't think it's going to end well for the lads in pink.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Do think it is going to be. I think it's a great storyline for the tournament. That Infantino is cackling in glee as he stirs his cauldron.
Got their fixed out. Well, it was good to see. Yeah, I mean, and obviously Inter being the only MLS team going through and representing as well. So yeah, so that will be an interesting one. It will be really interesting. I think PSG absolutely run through them as well. I think those Man City players are all taking ice baths and hydrating as well. They're struggling with the cramp, and again, that intensity of that game is going to be so hard. So I think they're going to struggle on that one. I am fortunate enough to be going to this game, Flamenco against Bayern. I will be going down to that one as well. That will be a good fixture. That will be a good one.
My only complaint is that both sides wear red, so you won't be able to tell them apart in the stadium. That sucks. I hate that.
Yeah.
They really need to be doing a better job of ensuring that these teams have separate colors.
Color coordination and different confederations as well in terms of the draws. For the
sake of yes, whatever, FIFA, get your act together.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And then looking through the other fixtures, then you've got Juve against, and you'd assume it would be Real Madrid because they're probably going to win that group and obviously get through.
Again, I feel the same way about that as I feel about Botafogo, right, versus Palmeiras.
Yeah. This is a Champions League rematch almost. You've seen this one before, right? I know you get a little bit salty around that one. However, Dortmund Monterey is an interesting fixture. That is a tasty fixture. One. That is a tasty fixture. I do like that one. You kind of like there's a clash of young and old of Dortmund's philosophy of sort of being sort of the young up and comers as well, with the likes of Joe Bellingham and all of their sort of young talent, and then of course Sergio Ramos and the boys who have suddenly got into form. I don't know where that one's going to be played. I think all of these games are being played on the East Coast, as I understand it as well. There we go. It's being played in Mercedes-Benz at Atlanta.
Monterey is the third oldest team in the tournament on aggregate.
Okay.
They field a very, very seasoned crew.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And Borussia is one of the younger ones.
Yeah. Which teams then that have gone through have impressed you the most? Do you still think PSG are the red hot favorites to win this tournament?
No,
or do you
Man
think
City's now the red hot favorite.
You think
I hate to say it, but the way that they have completely dismantled their group.
Admittedly,
that has been a sobering. That has been a sobering.
Relatively easy group. I mean, two of those games, two of the teams, obviously Al Ain and Wydad, they're not great. And then Juventus, I was expecting a tighter game, to be honest, from Juventus Man City. That was very open.
They made Juventus look like a bunch of simpering idiots. I mean, it was not even close. And not to say that Real was walking on. I mean, Real Madrid had an easy group too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, they were playing Pachuca, Al Hilal, and Salzburg.
Yeah,
I mean, it was really no more difficult than City. They stumbled.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could not go through. There is a world where Salzburg pulls off a miracle game, defeats Real Madrid, Al Hilal beats Pachuca, and Real's out.
Ooh, I'm
telling you right now,
tasty one.
That is not an impossibility.
Idea. That is a tasty concept. Wow, that would be an exciting fixture, wouldn't it? As well,
Devin,
that would be,
Devin, where are you, Devin, with my money line? That could be worth throwing down a $5 bet on, because I imagine that money line is
Yeah, you're going to get good odds on that one as well.
You're going to get good odds on that one.
Yeah, the expectation still Mbappe still out, still struggling with his gastroenteritis. Apparently, he's 5 kilos lighter and he's really struggling as well.
That's not food, man.
That's no. It's
you
not
can't
food
blame
as
that
well.
on KFC. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that he went to Jack in the Box and the next thing you know, it's like
that's something.
Or a Waffle House or whatever. I don't know where they're training at, but
I think they're in Florida, I believe. I think the Real Madrid team are in
Gotta stay out of the Piggly Wiggly, man. Gotta stay out of the Piggly Wiggly.
Or Flanagan's as well. They have one of the local bars down there, the sports bars in Florida. Yeah. Anyway.
You know what it was? Mbappe's trying to get in the senior discount, going and eating dinner at 3 p.m. along with the, putting on some prosthetics and avoid the buffet.
Yeah.
Avoid the buffet, ladies and gentlemen. Florida buffets are not safe.
Well, we wish him well. It doesn't sound like he's probably going to be featuring in this tournament, even if Real Madrid do qualify. Because,
not if that's really what's been happening. And I do hope for a good full recovery. That's true. City true. Right now, City has usurped PSG's dominance. They are now the team to beat. I still think PSG can come through and do it. I look at that group and I'm going, okay, all likely. I think Botafogo has been looking really good. Of all the Brazilian teams, they're probably the best one. And I do think that Chelsea, when they are in their zone, are going to be very, very tough to beat. And they have a surprisingly when they're in their zone, they have a good roster depth. And I think this is key in a tournament like this, is you need to really be able to field two solid sides, right? Yeah. And use all 7 of your substitutes intelligently, mainly because of the heat and the fact that plays. So if you have any weaknesses within those substitution groups, it will be shown. And people can exploit that. And Chelsea have proven that their roster's deep. They're young, but they're pretty solid. So they could be in there, but there is no. It's all Man City.
It's basically you're saying if you.
I looked at Man City today, and I went, "How the hell did Crystal Palace beat them in the final of the FA Cup?"
It was a very different Man City. Remember, they had 4 new players as well, and I think they had a chance. Did you see Pep? I don't see clips as well. They were hanging out on Miami Beach, and Pep was doing kick-ups with some of the team. They were all having some downtime on Miami Beach doing kick-ups.
There you go. Good for them.
They look as though they're having relaxing. Nice
they weren't going to the buffet.
Summer Beano. Yeah, they definitely were staying away from that. Yeah, although
apparently Real's trying to save a few dollars going to the buffet.
Big mistake. Palm Beach, right? Yeah, exactly. Much better restaurants down in South Beach, that's for sure. Okay, Qooligan, I think that brings us up on time. Wonderful to have you back. We are going to go on a little hiatus for 2 days where we actually get to breathe. I'm going to be traveling to the East Coast again to obviously position ourselves for some more games in the knockout rounds. And then, we will be watching them. And as always, guys, like, follow, subscribe, hooligan-soccer.com. Come on in, share any feedback as well. Yes, the merch as well. We're going to have to get a merch section on the website as well, so we can start selling that stuff as well. Okay, well, Qooligan, as always, thank you very much. Until Saturday.
Safe travels.
Take care.
Peace.
Thank you.